A very good afternoon to all of you and good evening to Daniel, because he's from Sydney, I suppose, and we are happy to have him in our ACE virtual event session. And the good news is that hosting the first session for ACE Chapter Calcutta. And Tamanna is also present. Tamanna is the Atlassian Community Manager, and she would be giving a brief overview of the community, how the community works, and she would be helping us to launch the chapter Kolkata actually. So today's agenda is like on what we have in store is like easier, faster Jira, how to manage issue hierarchy with JXL tables, and we all know the code of conduct. I'll not go through that. So it's the basic that we follow across all the ACE virtual sessions. Coming to today's agenda, the first 15 minutes would be for introduction, network, and icebreaker. That I think we are already past 12. Followed by that, Tamanna would be giving the introduction of chapter Kolkata, and that would be the official launch of this chapter actually. She'll be cutting the ribbon. And followed by that, we have got easier, faster Jira manage and how to manage issue hierarchy with JXL tables. So Daniel will give a brief overview and a session on this, like what is this app all about. And after that, we have got a QA and event closer. So we have got kept like this QA and event closure at the end of the schedule. But if you have any questions at any point of time, you can raise your hand. I'll just help you to reach out to Daniel for asking the questions. So with this, I hand over the control to Tamanna so that she can walk us through the introduction, and also she can help us to go through the community guidelines and how this community works, a kind of a detailed introduction. Over to you, Tamanna.
Thank you, Saman. I'll share my screen. So all of you who don't know me, basically I am Tamanna. I manage the Asia Pacific region and I'm the community manager at Atlassian. And I joined in February 2020, so almost 1.5 years, managing the leaders, managing events in this area. And I'm super happy to launch the Kolkata chapter. And someone who's leading our Singapore chapter already, he hails from Kolkata. So he wished to, start up a chapter in Kolkata. So he's enabling that. So I want more and more people to come and join Kolkata chapter and make it a success. With that, I wanted to set a context like what are Atlassian community event, what is basically Atlassian community. So I'll take you to a brief introduction about that. So basically, what is Atlassian community? It is a network of people, and it's spread globally with a shared mission to build relationship and expand their knowledge of Atlassian product. So they are all in for this shared mission. Then we have almost 400 community leaders who are part of this community. And now you may ask, like, who are community leaders? What do they do? So community leaders are basically the stewards of this movement, and they are investing it and shaping the future. They are here to give us feedback, run this program, and help us to get that feedback to the core teams. They also act as connectors, ambassadors, and mentors for all the community members. So if you have any questions or if you want to reach out to any Atlassian team members, they are the people who will help us, get to you, get your questions to us. And that's how we stay connected with our end users. The additional qualification for a community leader is basically they have been using Atlassian products for 2+ years. So they are own experts in their Atlassian product use cases. There are two types of leaders or two ways in which community connects. One is the online community, which is on community.atlassian.com. And there is events community, which is on ace.atlassian.com, which primarily focuses on the event side. Now, what is a community leader and how do they impact basically? So when a community leader is onboarded, they are given a set. So they are the people who take on, they are the stewards, and they are the one, if they are on the online community, they answer the most questions and are the most effective and scalable channel. They host events worldwide and they deliver content to your own city where you are based out of, and that's how they reach to the end users. They create insightful articles, they start off discussions on the online forum, they act as a force multiplier for your messaging. So with that, let me tell you, like, we have community leaders from all across these cities, and particularly ACEs are spread across 187 cities around the globe. ACEs is a short for Atlassian Community Events. Now, talking about the ACEs, basically, these are free user-led meetups arranged by leaders. This provides an unique opportunity to speak to customers on their own turf. They provide networking, presentations, Q&A opportunities. In FY21 alone, we saw 10,000 plus attendees, and globally 840 events were hosted through Atlassian Community Events. It used to look like this before COVID, and now it's basically more like a virtual Zoom sessions, which everyone is joining this, as you can see this one. So it's more of like this at the moment. Little bit about the online community. So online community is a place where you can ask questions, start a discussion, or write an article, and anyone can do that. So if you go to community journey, you can select which product you want to engage with, or if you have a specific interest, you want to venture into that, or you want to join a particular group and share your expertise there. So you can choose your own journey and you can create your own path in this online forum. These are some of the numbers of questions that you see, 15,000. These are the answers provided by leaders in FY21 alone. So they are like providing answers day in and day out. 2,000 plus articles were written by leaders alone. So all those 400 of them, they are committed to providing you with answers, hosting amazing events across the year. So they do a commendable job. And if you want to learn more about it, or if you want to be a leader yourself, this is the link. You can go to community.atlassian.com/leaders, or you can write to us at communitymanagers@atlassian.com. I did like a small presentation, but feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. If you have questions now, I can take up those as well. So that's it. I'll stop sharing. Any questions or no? I can hand it over to someone then. Over to you, someone.
Thank you. Thank you for the brief introduction of community and the community leaders. That was really knowledgeable for all of us. Thanks a lot for that. So Daniel, without wasting much time, we'll switch over to you. The stage is all yours.
All right. Thank you. Can you hear me? Yes.
Yes, can.
Now, I think you need to make me co-host so I can share my screen. Thanks for that awesome summary, Tamanna, by the way. That's really impressive numbers, actually, about the community and how it grew to this point. Share screen, there we go. Let's take that one. And this. And you can see my screen, is that right? Cool. Welcome to this wonderful presentation about how whatever it is you're doing, you probably can do it a bit more easily and faster with JXL. And I'm going to walk you through our app and a bunch of use cases today. Thanks for having us. First of all, it's awesome to be part of this historic moment of the Kolkata chapter opening. And also hello to everyone in the Delhi region and Singapore. I do understand there's not a crazy amount of attendees right now. I understand there's a holiday in India, and it's also midday, I think. So maybe a lot more people will see a recording later. For the Singaporeans, you might have seen a presentation from us before. I promise there might be a small overlap in the beginning, but then there will be a new stuff. There will be a new feature that we just launched yesterday called custom hierarchy. And that'll be interesting for pretty much every one of you. I want to start though by quickly introducing us. That's my co-founder Hannes on the right-hand side there, and on the left, that's me. Hannes is in engineering and architecture, whereas I'm on the product and design side. And we are ex-Atlassians ourselves. So we have worked at Atlassian roughly 15 combined years, probably. So I just want to quickly, there are chat messages coming in. If any of them, I don't think I can see them, but I see the bubble there. So Soman or Tamanna, if there's anything for me, any question, just maybe jump in. If there's any question at all, by the way, about anything I'm talking about here, do just raise your hand or just unmute and jump in and ask. This doesn't have to be like a one-way thing and questions in the end or something. That's not how this needs to be. Anyway, Hannes and I quit our jobs essentially when the pandemic hit last year, and started to decided we want to do something on our own again, start a business, and we wanted to use our Jira knowledge and our insight into how customers use Jira, what they like about it and dislike about it, and we didn't want that to go to waste, and so we decided to found a company called Find Software, which is probably a bit of an interesting name, but that's our passion. We want to craft beautiful software that really helps you get your job done, software that just works. And the product we launched some 7 or 8 months ago now, so still a pretty new Jira app, is called JXL. And what it is essentially is, we thought, how can we solve as many pain points and shortcomings that Jira might have natively in one app. And so we decided to go with a spreadsheet implementation, and we essentially use that as a platform to now layer features on top of that, to offer like an extension to native Jira functionality. And this is a sneak peek how this looks like, but I'll obviously demo that in a bit live. It started out really well, and it is still really well, but it started very quickly is kind of what I'm trying to say. Lots of very positive reviews. We got staff picked in the beginning. Partly that's because a TechCrunch article on us and our app, and that drove a lot of attention and usage, really, also trials and customers to us, and resulted in a very robust product by now. Now, when I said spreadsheet, when I say spreadsheet, sometimes people respond to it like, ooh, spreadsheets, do I have to deal with this? And others love spreadsheets. They have posters of spreadsheets over their bed or something, right? But there seem to be these two camps. But at the end of the day, what most people agree on is that they're actually a really good UI pattern to get stuff done. you know these three products. That's Excel, that's Google Sheets, and Apple Numbers. But then there are other tools and products, a bit younger ones. And they started not calling the spreadsheet, but Smartsheet or table. And that sounds a bit more contemporary, is often the same or similar though. What you also see is Airtable. They essentially made relational databases more accessible and understandable really for anyone, including less tech savvy users. And then on the right there, you see Microsoft Lists and Google Tables, both products that are currently actually still being launched, if I'm not mistaken. The likes of, what is this, Asana, Monday, and ClickUp, so more modern like productivity apps. And it reached the whole table fever reached the more engineering and IT focused use cases as well. You have GitHub's issues feature, which gets a table view. I believe that's still in beta, but it's there and it looks great. Trello in the upper tiers, in the premium and enterprise, I think, editions have a table view that aggregates content from multiple boards. And there's, of course, Jira Work Management, which has a sort of rudimentary list view that looks like a table as well. Now the question is, why should Jira users miss out on this table trend that's happening? Tables are the new black, really, and they don't necessarily have to. That's essentially what we're offering with JXL. And one of our bigger cloud customers said this really nicely, and it's very flattering. Sheets are life-changing. So you'll obviously see this in a sec, but this is one of the sort of customer testimonials that we are more proud of, and I'd love to share that. What is it that make tables is so useful? I mean, Jira has a lot of natively and a lot of views, such as backlogs and boards and queues, or also actually like list views, but they're never, at least not 100% inline editable. And there are moments where you just want to quickly do a fairly basic and atomic operation, like assigning 10 tickets to yourself. Often you have to do that with multiple keyboard shortcuts, or you have to actually open these issues individually and then do that operation there, which is really not necessarily the easiest way this could go, right? So this is one example where a table view comes in really handy. You basically just copy a field value and paste it into a bunch of other cells, and that's it. I'll give you a quick run through of the UI, but then switch over to an actual live demo. You find sheets here in the sidebar in every project. Within the sheet, you can switch it to another sheet or create new sheets, so that you can have multiple sheets, as many sheets as you want per project. A sheet does not have to be scoped to one single project, though. It's JQL based, and you can have lots of issues from lots of projects in a sheet. And as I said, there's like inline editing in fields. And by the way, standard and custom fields are supported. You can also copy and paste fields. When you mark fields, then there's handy aggregation information in the status bar down there. So in this case, there are 4 people marked from 5 fields. That's really good stuff when you mark story point fields or date ranges or whatnot, and very, very handy. You can do things like column sorting and filtering like you would expect in a spreadsheet. And these are a few features, some of which are already launched and that I'll demo in a sec, such as the hierarchy feature. And this is where you edit a sheet. And I'm going to show you this now live. And again, the group of attendants is not huge yet, but for the ones that are here, you can jump in anytime if you have any questions. Now, let's do this. To start with, or maybe let's start here. When you have JXL installed, you have a Sheets item up here. That brings you to a directory page of all your sheets. Not necessarily all your sheets, but the most like recent sheets from your recently visited projects and so on. You can star sheets. So I have 3 sheets starred, and you can open them. Obviously, now there we go. That's a sheet. And you can see that here in the sidebar, closing that. As I showed you earlier, you can switch between your sheets here as well, and you create new ones. You can also delete this sheet. You can do things like exporting the sheet, and you can obviously edit the sheet. And this is what I want to start with. The first thing, a sheet has a title. Think of a sheet like an entity, like a board or a filter or a queue. It is a vehicle that shows whatever issue scope you define and has a name, if that makes sense. And this is a very, I think, awesome JQL composer bar that we built. So just to show you, I can obviously say, have other like pull in issues from this project, say, as well, and loading. There are actually, I think there's a bunch of, there's probably tens of thousands, well, at least 6,000 issues. So that's why it took like 3 or 4 seconds to load, but it's still crazy fast. So one of the things that we pride ourselves with is scalability and the underlying architecture of this. It's just really, really fast. Now, the other thing I can do here now in this edit sheet mode is I can add columns here, and you see there's lots and lots. They're basically all your standard fields and your custom fields, like available for you. I can just add this field now, and then I say, I want this here. So I just drag and drop it, and that's it. So it's sort of what you see is what you get approach to editing a table. I want this column here, so I'm going to delete it. There are also some special columns that are actually only that JXL adds. They're not actual fields. They're not based on fields. Most columns are fields, but this one, for example, isn't. Time since resolved is something that JXL computes. And if you ever need a field, if you have an idea for a field, talk to us. Likely easy to do. And that's it. I don't know what I did change-wise, so I'm not going to save this and just cancel and switch over to showing you how editing works. Quick reminder, maybe I'm stupid, but there you go. This is the chat. Not sure if you see the chat, but I see it now. I just want to make sure if there's any questions. No questions for me. So I keep going. Reminder, just jump in if you have questions.
A quick question. Yeah, a quick question, Daniel. So can we write formula in those cells?
Not yet. Cell formulas is a feature that we have planned, but that doesn't exist yet. So we preempt that by offering some special fields that do like common things that you would want to do with formulas. But formulas are on the roadmap, but we haven't gotten to that stage yet. What else? Like I can obviously say, I can now in this view mode filter down further with column filtering features. So I can say only show me epics and stories. Bam. I can have multiple filters on multiple columns. Obviously, I can then say clear them all back to normal. I can sort by summary. Doesn't make any sense, does it? So get rid of that. What else in terms of view preferences? I think that's a good start. What I can now do is I can edit these fields, like there we go. I can do things like editing inline the priority, the status, or whatever it is you want to do. You have a bit of an overview of some of the columns that you could have configured onto a sheet. You know, that you can flag things, you can give them an epic link, you can do all sorts of things. There is, you know, I can log time here, 1 hour worked, done, and this will result obviously in progress bars. I can actually paste in comments. A customer suggested that to us. Why don't we just paste in comments? Like their use case was, we, you know, ship some feature and then we would like to answer like 10 different customers at once that this feature is shipped now, like in a service desk sort of scenario. And how they do that now is they just copy a comment and mark a bunch of fields and paste that comment. I'm not going to do that now, but I can show you how copy and pasting works a bit more easily by doing this with an assignee or something. I can also say like this and this and this and this issue are in progress. Bam. You get the idea. I can mark cells and inline edit or change them. Inline editing is not available for all fields, simply because some fields you just can't edit, and some the inline editing wouldn't make sense. There's a dialogue instead, like this. You've seen this already. Some have like you know, obviously different sort of UIs. You can resize columns, what you would expect from a spreadsheet. So that's a good, the environment field is you know, a multi-line field. So that's how that works. It doesn't, because I mean, the field actually has to be configured onto that issue type's screen. So that doesn't actually exist. So I can't edit it. That's expected. There you go. I can change sprints and whatnot. And use cases are really endless. I have a bunch of things here, like a timesheet, an epic roadmap, where I have only epics configured onto. Let's have a look at that. Timesheet, where I just logged the time. But I'm going to go back to this beautiful sheet now and introduce first thing what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually create an issue. So do stuff. And there it is. That's the issue. So inline creation works as well. And with that, I think I'll jump onto issue hierarchy. So you can see that this is flat. You have stories, you have bugs, you have tasks, you have epics, and I've created issue types here that I call initiative and program. And I have, and this is, by the way, the feature we launched yesterday. I have configured a custom hierarchy in advanced roadmaps for Jira software. So you see that there's a program. In the program, there are initiatives, and in the initiatives, there are epics, and in there, they're like base level issue types, and under there, obviously, subtasks. Now, if I just switch on the default hierarchy in Jira, this wouldn't be recognized, right? So the issue types that I just talked about, the program and the initiatives, they're not recognized. They're now here in a separate group for parentless issues. And here is, you see the epic base and subtask relationship. And how you make the advanced roadmaps relationship happen now is you create a custom hierarchy. You can have as many as you want in any given sheet. So what I'm doing now here is I'm saying, here are all my issue types. I'm saying I'm going to start with the program here. Okay. And then I'm going to have an initiative here. You see that there are also wildcard entries. So I can say, give me all the other issue types, give me all issue types of a specific level, native Jira level, as in epic, base, or subtask. And this is how I can create levels in my hierarchy. The second thing you need to do, and this differs a lot, I think, from other Jira apps that do similar features. Second thing you can do is you can choose the what we call parent linkage. So the default linkage is simply using the several linking fields that Jira has for this purpose, which are like the parent field for advanced roadmaps, configured hierarchies. It's the parent link field, and the epic link field for base issues with epic parents. But you can also do other things. You can use issue link relationships. So for that purpose, you can pick issue links. I'm not going to do that yet. I'll show you that in a sec. Let me save that hierarchy. Actually, that doesn't work because I need to give it a title. Let's call that programs and initiatives. Save that bad boy. And now you can see that I have the hierarchy visualized here. I can close all this. The ones here in the bottom are the ones that actually don't fit into that hierarchy. So they don't satisfy the criteria that we just configured, essentially. So let's ignore them. I open this, and those are my initiatives in the program. And there are the epics, and there are the base issue types, and there are the subtasks. Now, let's do something really exotic that I just hinted to. I can, let's say, I just put all these guys in here. I delete this level, put all these guys here as well. And I say, you know, what I've done here is I have created, I'm now in the issue linking configuration in Jira. I've created a link type called hierarchy, which has the outward description is child to, and is child to is not the best English, it should be child of anyway. Is parent to is obviously the inward description. And let's do this now. Let's get rid of the default linkage here. I can do multiple here as well, though, but we don't want that now. Let's keep it simple. We're saying is child to, so this level is child to that level using this link type. Save. And the result will be nothing, because I need to type something here. What do we call this? Call this hello. And the result is that we don't actually have any hierarchy right now because these links don't exist. I'll make one now. I'll link demo 100 to demo 106 by establishing that issue link. Link issue is child to demo 100. What did I say? Demo 106. And what happens now is this base level issue type is a child of that base level issue type. Obviously, this is not the best, like semantically the best example, but there are many use cases for that sort of setup. I think that was roughly in terms of functionality what I wanted to walk through. I'm going to open the chat here quickly and see there are probably questions. Yes. If I add a field and enter data in it, would that be reflected in the individual Jira issue as well? Yes. I mean, there's that's a very obvious question, but a good question. So yes, what you see here are the actual Jira fields, right? So if I open this issue here, you see this is the description. I'm going to add a few X's here. And then that's the issue description. So yes, that's exactly what it is. It's an inline issue editor. One stupid question, no such thing. Keep them coming. Is this tool free? If not, what's the pricing structure? I wish it's free. Yeah. So I can quickly go over to our website and look at the pricing with you. The up to 10 users tier costs $1, and Atlassian is about to make, I think, to allow everyone, app vendors to make that tier entirely free, or to make particular tiers free, and we will make this tier free as soon as we're allowed to. But apart from that, this is the structure you get. You know, if you have 11 or more users, or you know. Yes, that's exactly. If you have 11 or more users, the price per user is 70 cents, which is, I think, still quite competitive, and that decreases degressively all the way to the currently highest level, which is 15,000 to 20,000 users, where you have an average, or you have an actual where you have an average. No, that's, yeah, the average. It's a progressive tier, but you get the idea. This goes like down digressively in pricing tiers. So that's the cloud pricing, and I think the data center and server pricing are also pretty competitive. It starts a bit higher at 500. And for server, I should say, you can't actually buy this on the marketplace anymore, because Atlassian doesn't allow us to list server apps anymore. However, you can buy that directly from us and just get in touch, and we're going to generate a proprietary license for you. So sorry, the answer to that question, the short answer is it's not free. The up to 10 user tier will be free soon, but above that, we have to earn some money, of course. That's it in terms of questions from the Zoom chat tab. If there's nothing more, then I'll jump back to the presentation. I do have a few more slides, and then, or someone, did you have a question, or?
No, that's all. Please go ahead.
Cool. I'll just wrap up with a quick summary, so you can create sheets for yourself and your teams, as in, like, you can create multiple sheets, lots of them, and we see customers creating sheets. There are already tens of thousands, if not already hundreds of thousands of sheets out there. You can fine-tune the sheet scope with a very intuitive JQL composer bar. You can add, remove, and rearrange any sort of columns, and these columns are obviously fields, Jira fields. There are no column limits really. Comparable features apps often have that. You can add as many columns as you want here. Standard and custom fields are supported, and there are also some special fields. And if you have some idea of some exotic field, just talk to us, and we might be able to make that happen as well. You can field sort and resize table columns. You can create and edit your issues inline. You can copy and paste field values in bulk, issue hierarchy and custom issue hierarchy structures. The whole thing has full keyboard control, so I can copy and paste and mark and all these things with the usual keyboard shortcuts that you're used to. And you can export your issues without any limits. I think natively Jira still has a low limit for that. What's coming soon is ranking, grouping, some sum up columns. We also mentioned conditional formatting, which plays into that sort of area. Yeah, I'm not sure actually if we mentioned conditional formatting. We mentioned self formulas, and that's something we'll do. And conditional formatting is another example of features we'll have soon. The whole thing is really secure, scalable, and performant and reliable. I just want to quickly point out that your data actually never leaves your site, not in data center at server, but also not in cloud. This is at this stage, if you're familiar with the different cloud app development frameworks, Connect and Forge. This is currently no Forge app. It will be soon, but we essentially built it as if it was. As soon as all the capabilities that we need are going to be are offered, we are going to migrate into a Forge framework. But for now, this is Connect, and the data, your sheets, and everything is essentially treated as if it was a Forge app, in that it's saved and stored in your site. So you can even uninstall JXL and install it a month later, and all your sheets would still be there because they're simply in your site. We have all the certifications and verifications from Atlassian. 100 researchers go through our apps for bug bounties on an ongoing basis. And we're obviously compliant with all data protection laws. JXL is available for all Jira products, current Jira products, and we're committed to make it work for all future Jira products as well. It's available on the marketplace. Obviously, it's not free, but it's very competitively priced. It is available for cloud, data center, and server. And if you have any sort of question that you want to look up, do have a look at our website, jxl.app, or get in touch with me. Just write hello@fine.software, or talk to me now, or talk to me via LinkedIn, or get in touch. I'm happy to answer any questions. For this fairly small group that is attending right now, but hopefully many more people who see the recording of this beautiful presentation, there's a promo code for which you get 3 months free. This is for cloud monthly plans. If you need it for cloud annual or server or data center, just get in touch at support@fine.software. And that's my part. There is one more chat message. Does any update command for Jira fields works in the Sheets view if I want to update multiple issues? Any update command? Can you clarify what do you mean by update command? PS wrote this. Are you still here? Does any update command for Jira fields work in the Sheets view if I want to update multiple issues? If this is referring to any field, then the answer would be yes, all fields that you can actually edit. You have to have the fields on the issue types edit screen configured, but that's sort of expected, I think. You can't, for example, update the created field or something, because that doesn't make sense. So that is also visually slightly
So,
different.
PS, are you talking about bulk updates that we do in Jira? Okay, he's asking about bulk update.
I mean, update just like maybe we do in SQL. Yes. I mean, the answer is yes. So here's the thing: you can write a JQL statement here, right? So that's no different from how you would do it in the issue navigator in Jira. You can, on top of that, filter down to all sorts of criteria that you might have here. So I could say, like whatever, I just want these. So what I'm trying to say is you can define the list of issues or rows in the table that you want to edit. And then you can do it like this. You can just basically say copy, you mark them, and you paste them. You can also do this with multiple fields. So let's say, I want this to be in progress, and whatever this priority is, it's lowest anyway. So I copy both these fields and paste them in here, and that'll also work. So this is simple copy and pasting is how you do bulk edits. And I do this here with 2 issues, or with 8 or 5 or something, but you can, no one keeps you from doing that with 500 or 1,000 here. This will, go through and there's like a little spinner here for a while, but it works. There's no limit to that. If you want to do certain actions that are not necessarily field-based, so for example, in the bulk edit wizard native to Jira, you can do things like watching all the issues that you've selected or that sort of thing. You currently, there are things you can't do in the sheet, but then you could mark a bunch of issues, and then there's a context menu. I right click and then I say bulk edit, and this sends me into the Jira bulk edit wizard for these exact issues, and then you can go from there. But for most things you don't need that, because you basically just rethink how you do things. You do them in line. You see is what you get. What you see is what you get, and there's rarely any limits. Just paste into 100 issues, no problem. Thanks for sharing how many instances can we use the 3-month free code in. That's actually a question about how the Atlassian promo code feature works. I don't think there is a limitation to that. You can use that. That's not a unique code, so you can use that code in 3 instances if you like. There shouldn't be a no worries. There shouldn't be a limit to that. Cool. I don't see any more questions in the Zoom chat, and I hope this was somewhat entertaining and or interesting, and I hope a lot of people get to watch the recording of this. And yeah, happy to answer any more questions. Otherwise, back to Suman or Tamana.
This session was really very, very useful, and this app particularly, is going to ease a lot of our, project management activities that we do on a daily basis, tracking the agile projects, Scrum, and all stuff. So yeah, it's definitely useful, and I'm going to try this in my sandbox version of Jira and do some playing with it. Yeah.
go for it. Obviously it's there's a 1 month free trial with that code. You extend that to 3 months essentially, or actually longer depending on your billing cycle. There's plenty of time, and yeah, there's absolutely nothing to worry about. The app respects all Jira permissions. No one can do anything they couldn't do in Jira anyway, and your data doesn't leave your side. Just play around with it, and if you're like our average customer, you would, after like a month or even after a few days, you wouldn't want to live without it.
True. So if you are done with the presentation, I'll just quickly take the screen share back.
Yep.
Okay. So we are pretty much on the agenda. Like we covered all the 3 topics, and the Q&A and all we covered during the event itself. So yeah. So anyone, any questions or anything you want to ask Daniel or me or Tamanna? I think there are silence. I mean, there's silence. That means there are no questions actually. Yeah. So I think I got a chat message here. Great session. Thanks, Meghna, for joining. Yeah. So oh, Tamanna is back. So I think it was really a good and very informative session, Tamanna. So that's all from my end. Over to you, Daniel and Tamanna. You would like to add anything before the closure?
I think I'm good, and it was interesting to know that Daniel and the other co-founder, you are from Atlassian. So excited to learn about that. All the best for your journey. I think this is a great product, and all the best for that.
Thanks. We might have, I think you said 1.5 years or so, we might have left around the time you arrived. But yeah, thank you. It's been a wild ride, and it's really interesting, and it's an awesome app. Try it out. Thanks for having me. Thanks, Kolkata, Delhi, Singapore, and till next time.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for an amazing session, Daniel.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye.